Well, thank you, gentlemen, and Ms. Dory for your testimony today. I'd like to first address the issue with General McKenzie of mine warfare in the CENTCOM AOR. Iranian mining capability is obviously a vulnerability for U.S. and allied military forces within the region, as well as for commercial shipping and free trade. And the Navy plans to soon decommission its remaining 4 MCM platforms stationed in the Gulf and Bahrain. And as we know, the material condition and capabilities of these aging MCMs has been severely degraded over time. However, the Navy's planned replacement of a mine warfare capability through the mission modules on the LCS class of ships is neither fully developed nor has it been successfully deployed from the LCS. However, testing of the MCM suite of platforms on platforms of opportunity, such as provided by allied navies in 2019, the Royal Fleet Auxiliaries Mounts Bay successfully tested this, and then the ESB-4 Herschel Woody Williams also in 2019 proved successful. And these ad hoc capabilities are not resident in the CENTCOM AOR, which is going to leave a significant gap in MCM capability once these ships are decommissioned. As the combatant commander, are you confident in the current and future mine warfare capabilities provided by the Navy in your AOR?
Thank you for the question. I am very concerned about Iranian mine warfare capabilities. I think it's one of their great asymmetric weapons, and they employ it in 2 areas up in the Strait of Hormuz.
General McKenzie, I'm sorry, could you just get that microphone pointed right at your chin?
Sure. Yeah. How's that? Better?
Yeah, a little better.
I'm very concerned about Iranian mine warfare capabilities. It's a significant asymmetric threat that they possess, and they possess it not only up in the Strait of Hormuz, which is where we always think about it, but also down in the Bab el-Mandeb in the Red Sea. Their ability to deploy a wide variety of thousands of mines is very concerning to me. Right now, we have a very limited mine warfare capability in the theater. Our ships, as you have noted, and the ships of our British partners are also about all we have if we had to sweep and open the Strait of Hormuz, which is a vital international passage, and it would take us an extended amount of time to do it with the resources that we have now. I too have noted the LCS and the problems that have attended it as a possible mine sweeping variant. Regardless, it's not going to be available in a reasonable amount of time for me and my requirements in U.S. Central Command. So I would share your concerns. We talk about this all the time. This is an area of Iranian capability that remains vexing and concerning to me.
So, General, since there was a successful test of these new advanced mine warfare capabilities using the TESB platform, which is something that's already deployed in your theater, would that be a valuable addition in the CENTCOM AOR if we were able to leverage that capability on the TESB?
CENTCOM would be happy to leverage any capability that's out there right now, given the significant gap between our available resources and the scope and scale of the problem.
Okay, thank you. And in the time remaining, General Townsend, I wanted to focus, as some of my colleagues already have, in the rapidly expanding Chinese influence on the African continent. We've already referenced the strategic location of the Chinese overseas base in Djibouti, adjacent to the Bab el-Mandeb and the entrance to the Red Sea. But more than a strategic positioning from their maritime perspective, I wanted to focus on some of the infrastructure and transportation investments that they're making, reaching into Ethiopia. It appears that the Chinese, who inarguably want to grow their position on the world stage and in Africa, are engaging in their own version of modern-day colonialism on the African continent as they venture to find cheaper labor markets and use infrastructure debt to leverage as a leverage tool. Can you comment on the domestic and regional impact of the Chinese economic expansion into Ethiopia, and then maybe a little bit of the time remaining on how the recent unrest in the Tigray region has changed any Chinese activity in the area?
Thanks, Congresswoman. So that you mentioned Chinese, an example of their investments on the African continent. Transportation infrastructure is certainly one of those. Seaports, airports, and rail lines in particular. And you see that with Ethiopia with rail lines running to the Red Sea from the country. You see that in Kenya as well. In some places, these investments have worked out okay. I haven't seen any of them that have worked out really well as the Chinese had hoped they would. Regarding your question about Tigray, I haven't seen a connection to Tigray and China.